What's up, guys? Just wanted to make an update video about my dad's Galaxie. I was just riding home. I just left his place for the 4th of July weekend, and I am about home. I'm not too far away. I'm going to go by the shop and drop the car off because it's supposed to have a storm coming in, and don't want to leave it outside, and I want to get it inside the shop. So I've got it back there behind us, and I'll walk around it here in a minute and show you guys what's going on with it and do a little more video on it, because I never did a video walk around really of some of the stuff that was done. There's Weezy in the back. She just popped up, and aMAYSing is back there as well. So when I get over here to the shop and get it unloaded, I will do a little walk around video of it. I have also got an engine in the back that I also picked up. So just stay tuned. Here in a minute I will show you guys a walk around on the car. I've been getting a lot of thumbs up and stuff riding along. Been riding about 2 hours, so I'm almost there, but I will let you guys in on everything here in a few minutes. I love when I get home and I see all those mountains. We live in the North Georgia mountains, so when I start seeing the mountains, I know I'm about home. We're about there. We got aMAYSing up now in the back. This is our little hometown, or our town. Where it's not very much. We got a little bit of stuff. We are big enough that we do have a Walmart and a Lowe's, so I guess couldn't ask for anything more. We're literally like 2 minutes from my house to the town, but I'm gonna go on past my house and go to the shop to unload the Galaxie. Weezy don't want to go. She's ready to get home and play in the creek. So I decided to stop at our house and drop off the girls. So I'm going to run them down. My driveway is long and windy, and you can't get back in there with the trailer. You can, it's just hard to get it back out. And there's Lucy coming up the hill, so I'll show you guys her in a second. So I got them out, and Weezy's running by, and aMAYSing. And here's Lucy. Hey, Luce. What are you doing, Luce? What you doing, Luce? And here comes Aaron. She was going to meet me at the shop, and I guess she didn't know I was going to show up. And this is her baby, Beulah. And Lucy's coming to see. So everybody's here and happy. So I guess Weezy's going with me. Lucy's running. And aMAYSing got in the truck with her mom. Wait. Come on. Load up. Good girl. So we're having to back all the way up the road. Guess we gotta go all the way to the, I don't know, about right here. Guess we gotta go all the way to the next road up. Almost there. Well, I guess we did it. All right. And I didn't tear nothing up. Seatbelts. So they're doing road construction just down from the house. I mean, down from the shop. They're fixing to put a roundabout here. This looks like fun. This is like right down the street from the shop. She looks good back there. Oh, we're coming up on the shop here. For anybody that's never seen the outside, it don't look like much. But we get everything done in there. It's enough. There's a whole nother building in the back. So he's running around at the shop. Go cut the air on so I can air up the air ride. Y'all like that tag? And I got this emblem and my sticker on the back. I'm gonna go open up the shop and we'll come out here and get this thing unloaded. Go get some air, get some lights on. Hey, Louise. This is inside the shop. A few projects going on. Go back here and turn the lights on and get some doors open. It's hot. Oh. And Wazy's back here hanging out. What you doing, Wee Wee? Eloise. Hey, May. This is May, and this is Weeze. That's daughter and mom. So get it unstrapped and get it off of here, and then I'll do a little walk around about it, what's going on, and we'll talk about my treasures I brought home. this weekend. So I put Aaron behind the camera. Get it all done. Going to air it up. I've just got a temporary system underneath the car so that we could air it up and down and move it, and I let the air out of it so that it would sit down and wouldn't deflate on the way and end up making my straps loose. So. That's it up. It's a little high in the front, but with the engine it should. But we'll get it off here and then we'll do a little walk around and talk about it. Hopefully I don't lose it going there and stuck back there. Since I'm here alone. Trying to give it some resistance. Check the back and see if the wheels
are good.
Move them when I get it on back. Pretty much all. Move up a little so I get some more slack. Wrong side. Usually we just roll them off. I usually have somebody here with me. There, Dad. He was worried about me getting her off. Told you I wouldn't hurt her. Alright, I got the Galaxie unloaded here and got all the parts out of the inside. We ended up inside of we laid all the parts in there. Wasn't really worried about messing any of them up because all of them are going to have to get redone. It did get the front of the hood pretty good, right in there, across there, but like I said, this car is going to have to get repainted. So This is the Galaxie I built for my dad, and my dad didn't know I was building it for him. Truck going by right now. So I was building this car for Modern Riding magazine. It was supposed to go to SEMA. It was supposed to be in the magazine, which it was in the magazine and probably will still be in the magazine. But I was building this car for him. He thought it was a customer's car. He didn't know that I was building it for him. I made up a story that a customer had came in here, which we don't do paint and body or full cars. All we do are rebuild bodies. So I told my dad's like, why don't y'all build Galaxies? This is his favorite car. We built one for AMD that's in their showroom, and so we had a jig. So I ended up buying this car on my birthday. My dad had some issues back in 2007, 2008, and was really sick. He basically, I was getting out of the heat out there. Basically, he was dead. They had him on full life support. He was in a coma for months. I think 23 days, 28 days, 30 some days. Anyways, he was in a coma for a month or longer, and they said he was dead. They told my mom that she had to pull the plug or find somewhere to carry him because his insurance was running out. They said he would never come back. My mom kept him on life support. They finally got down to where the insurance was running out, and they told her that she needed to make a decision and pull the plug, or she had to find somewhere to carry him. So she went home, talked about it, or thought about it. Next morning she came in, they called her in, and they said, Miss Mays, what are you going to do? You're going to pull the plug? And she said, no, I'm not. And they asked her why she wasn't going to pull the plug, why she thought that he was going to come back. And she said, well, he came to me in a dream last night and said that he would be back, that he was just resting. My dad came back that night. So a lot of prayers, and God Almighty, God wasn't through with him. So my dad came back, and they said, well, it's a miracle. He'll never walk, talk. He'll be bedridden the rest of his life. He'll never do anything. My dad does everything. My he works, he builds stuff, he flies planes, he rides motorcycles, he does everything. So I was down visiting right after COVID, and he said, son, I'm gonna die. And I was like, no, you're not. He's like, yeah, I am. I said, well, I know you're gonna die eventually, but you're not gonna die no time soon. And he's like, no, son, if I get COVID, I'm gonna die. And he said, look at my phone and find your name and read what I wrote you. And that made me start thinking that my time was short with my dad here on earth, and that I wanted to spend more time with him, and I wanted to do something special for him because he's always been there for me. So I wanted to do something special. He's always liked the Ford Galaxie. He likes Fred Lorenzen. So he was at the races when he was 7 years old, and Fred won in a 64 Galaxie, and my dad was leaning over in it looking at it, and he turned around and my grandfather was gone. They had him over in the booth giving him ice cream to shut him up. He wouldn't stop crying, and they called for my grandfather and found him. But my dad remembers seeing that car in Victory Lane, and he's always loved it. So that weekend I came home, I set out on a mission to find the Galaxie. I found this Galaxie. It's a 64.5 Galaxie 500 XL. It's got a rear trim package. It's got the bucket seats, the console shift. It's got the Premier sound system with the reverberator. It's a power window car. So I found this car and I bought it on my birthday, September 18th, and I started to build it. And I had a guy come to me and say, hey, we'll build this car and we'll take it to SEMA. We'll help you build the car and we'll take it to SEMA. And I was like, I can't afford that because I don't have money to do all that. I was just going to build it into a black body like this. Almost dropped my phone. I was going to build it into a black body with new sheet metal and put the 390 back in it and end up giving it to my dad, letting him drive it around like this, maybe putting a window in it. And then I was going to go hang out with him and do the interior, do the windows, do the paint and body, and all that stuff. Well, when it decided to be a SEMA project, ended up, the guy said, we'll get sponsors, we'll do this and that. So I ended up getting some sponsors, and 3 of the sponsors that I got ended up, one of them was paint, which was just the paint products. The other one was the transmission, and another was the wheels that's on the car. On top of AMD. AMD gave me the parts to build the car, all the stuff. So there was a lot of other sponsors, Low Car, American Auto Wire. I'm thinking that's about it. I might be missing somebody, but anyways, it was still going to cost a lot of money to get this car where it needed to be. I had somebody reach out to me about doing the paint at a paint shop. So I ended up going down there, checking out their paint shop. Looked pretty good, legit. Seen some of the paint jobs there, and decided that I was going to bring the car back and let them do it. So carried the car back down there, dropped it off, dropped off all the trim and stuff. And I'll go point out some stuff about the trim, all my chrome. I had all of it redone. And while I was there, they asked me about building a Mustang. I said, I don't build them. The guy was really cool, and he offered to paint the car for my dad just because of the story. So I decided to build this car for my dad, not let him know about it. And I got it here. When the SEMA thing come about, I told my dad, I said, man, the owner of this car, I was talking with him, and he liked my vision on what I would do if it was mine, and he wanted me to build it as if it was mine, and he would fund it. So I wrote up a fake email to myself from the guy and showed it to my dad. My dad's like, that's awesome. My son's going to be in Modern Riding Magazine. He's going to be at SEMA with this Galaxie that he's going to build. That's going to be awesome. So I told my dad, Dad, this is your favorite car. I would like to design it, paint it, interior, all that, the way that you would like it if it was your car. So I would have a magazine with me building a car that my dad would like to have. So started building it. My dad picked out all the interior, the wheels, the paints, everything about it. We kept telling him we were going to LS it. He said, no, keep the 390. We were going to get a Hellcat from Dodge. They were going to give us one to put in it. He said, no, keep the 390. We found a Coyote we were going to put in it. We actually ended up buying the Coyote. We were going to put it in a Ford. So we bought the Coyote. Said, Dad, the owner is talking about putting a Coyote in it. My dad's like, no, keep the 390. Well, later on, we ended up coming across an all-aluminum Robert Pons 427, brand new, fuel injected, everything. We didn't give him an option on that. That's a whole nother story I'll tell you guys about. If you would like to hear about it, just drop it in the comments, and I'll make a video talking about that. But I'm not sure how much time I have on this because I'm recording on my phone, and I want to get out here and point some things out with this car and what's going on with it, some updates, and let you guys know what is going on. We are still waiting on the engine. It's at an engine shop being built. It's been there. The guys had some struggles, some issues and stuff. Just been praying for him that everything works out. I think he's about got it wrapped up. He's down to where he has to get the fuel injected, programmed, and all that on the intake system, the fuel injected system. So we're waiting on that. But with the car, like all over the place. So trying to find somewhere to put it. So with the car, you know, I gotta swing my hands and stuff. So with the car, we're waiting on the engine, and the guy that painted it told me he would be done in 3 months, and that would give me just a little bit of time to get it put together, to get it to SEMA. Well, 3 months came, wasn't ready. 4 months came, wasn't ready. Ended up like 9 months or longer, and missed SEMA. So, but while I was down there visiting to drop the car off, I picked up, you know, he wanted to do it for free. So I decided that I would build the Mustang for him for free. So I got the Mustang, brought it here, started, he had a couple panels and stuff for it, and I asked him if he wanted me to treat it like a customer's car or build it, just put the parts that he had on it. The floor had been cut by somebody and had patches welded in it, and it was just horrible to me. It would have held, probably would have lasted forever. It just looked horrible to me. So he said, yeah, you can treat it like a customer's car. I stripped it all down, which it was just a shell. I stripped everything off of it, quarter panels, roof skin, sent it over to blast, had it blasted, came back, I finished cutting the rotted stuff out, firewall, floors, frame rails, doors, roof skin, quarter panels, deck filler, tail panel, some other odd and end stuff, and I rebuilt it. Cost about 20 grand to rebuild it. So gave it back, ended up getting my car, and finally, so the car was sitting, we were waiting on the engine. The car had sat at my dad's for about 2 months, not even 2 months. And my dad told me about some spots coming up on the door. He's like, oh, I ain't gonna worry about it. The trim's gonna cover it. I just wanna drive the car, I wanna enjoy it. I said, Dad, we're not gonna paint this car if there's spots bubbling up. We're not gonna put this car together, because if I get all the chrome and all that on it and it starts coming up and it starts rotting, I don't want it to go to a car show, because you're at a car show, man, a 40 model Ford just went by, 4041, and it was red, looked great. But I told him I don't want to go to a car show and be, people come up and look, and when they look at the paint job and they see stuff wrong with it, they instantly think that the car is garbage, that there's rot under stuff and there's Bondo and all that. And I didn't want people to assume that by the outer appearance of the car, because I have a lot of time in this car. There's 3 people that I've seen on the internet that have built 64 Galaxies, and they have tubbed them. I'm not going to call no names out. They're big name builders, big name builders. They've built, there's been 3 of them built, and I've seen them, and they have tubbed theirs the same as this one's tubbed. Well, not the same, but the same size tires under the back, and they cannot roll down the back windows. They don't have back seats in them, and every picture, everything that I have found, every show, anything, they will not open the trunk on them. So I made it a purpose of building this car to where the rear windows would roll down, where I would open the trunk, and where it would have a back seat and still maintain the bucket seat, everything, power windows. So that was my goal, was to make this car hold the same size rim and tire as theirs, but everything still worked and I could be proud of the trunk. I sectioned this trunk into 6 pieces. The trunk alone cost $3 grand off the rip just to get it here to the United States because they were out of stock. So I cut this trunk into 6 pieces. I have some pictures or video on my TikTok of it, I think, and on my Instagram. But I will go out here and I will show you guys the trunk. I'll show you the wheel tubs and I'll talk a little bit about it. But anyways, it holds all that, and that was my main goal. I have over 400 hours in the trunk. The body alone before it left the shop here was at about $100,000. Probably a little over $100,000. Typical bodies that we build, Camaros, a full body, full build is about $28,000, $26,000. Cudas, $30,000 range. Chargers are in $45,000 range for a new body. This car was $38,000 for the sheet metal work, and then 400 hours at $75 an hour. So you do the math on the trunk. So I guess that's enough about me standing here talking. We'll walk out here and look at the car, and I'll go over some things about it. The guy did say that he would fix the car, but I was like, I don't know. I can't trust them. They didn't do it right the first time, and I don't want to put this car together and then 3 months down the road it start doing it again. So I think I'm just going to attempt to do it myself, unless there's somebody out there. I don't have the money to pay to get this done. Like I say, I can do metal work in exchange, but I don't have the money to get this car repainted, and I want this car done. It's been 2 years now, almost, and my dad has yet to enjoy this car, and I don't want nothing to happen to him before he gets to enjoy this car. My dad loves this car. He cries over it all the time. He probably cried when I just picked it up from the house and brought it back here, and he thinks that it's never going to get put back together, that it'll never be on the road. And I'm striking out again to make this happen. So if I got to spend some long nights up here stripping this car and painting it myself and figuring out how to do it, then I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. All right, we'll go out here and I'll show you guys. So this is it. It's black, but it has like a purple in it, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It's kind of a purple tint when the sun hits off of it. The top gunmetal gray. The side, I've got the Detroit steel wheels on it, and my dad ended up doing this side exhaust cut in on it before he knew it was his. He tubbed the rear end. We'll talk about that. And all the parts over here, hood, fenders, inner fenders, I got to put it all back together. So $8,000 was what the paint cost. All the paint supplies and stuff ended up around $8 grand. Then I built the Mustang for the guy. It was 20 grand. So I'm at 28 grand on it. Well, then it failed to make SEMA. So when it failed to make SEMA, I had to pay another 3 grand for the wheels that were sponsored, and I had to pay another 3 or 4 grand for the transmission that was sponsored. Luckily, nothing else was, so I didn't end up getting bit and had to pay for all that stuff. So we're looking at like $38,000 somewhere. You do the math, 30,000 or more in what this cost me to do, and I'm still not done because now I've got to redo it. The front wheels are Detroit steel ambassadors. They're 18x8s on the front. We custom made the caps, the holders for those caps. On the rear is the Detroit steel ambassadors, and these are 20x15s with a 10.5-inch lip on them. They got the chrome beauty rings. The car is beautiful. The top is about the only thing that's original, besides some of the inner door pillars and the inner structure and the package tray. But everything else is new. One of those fenders, the one on the back, is actually the factory fender. The other one was a prototype. I've got a lot of stuff that are the first build prototypes on this car. I had to do the frame. The frame was done, powder coated. All the powder coating was done by Lanier Powder Coating. Awesome job. Did everything. I've actually got to get those control arms off and carry them, because there was a company that was sponsoring my A-arms. Can't think of the name of them. I try to remember the banner on the wall in there. I'll think of it in a minute. Well, they were sponsoring, and then I sent them my factory ones. They wouldn't send them back. They wouldn't answer me. They were near about to cause me to fail. So I just went ahead and bought these from Fat Man Fab. They're awesome. Fat Man Fab is great. He really helped me out. These work good. But I rushed and got them on there, so I painted them with the rattle can. But I've got to get them off and get them to the powder coater. I still can't remember the name of the guy that backed out on me on the fabrication of those. He's a well-known shop. But I'm not here to sling mud. I pray for them. I pray for all the people that were involved in this, that ended up biting me, so to say. It's on God to judge them, not me. So everything looks really, really good. Probably looks great in the camera. Well, one thing that I don't like is the drip rails. Look how thick the Bondo or the stuff is in there. It's like, it is super thick, especially on this other side. I don't even know if the trim will clip on it that goes on it. I mean, there's no lip. It's barely any lip there, and that thing it shouldn't be that thick. It's just a drip rail and a roof skin. So I didn't like that. I carried the trim down there to have all the chrome put on, and I wanted them to get all this matched up with the chrome and do all the sanding. Well, it's in right here. You can see it's in. None of this matches. When you put the trim, you can see back behind it in these corners. This corner right here, it's up, which is the deck lid probably needs adjusting. But when we brought it home, the deck lid without the rubber in it was sitting there vibrating, and the paint wasn't cured, and it pushed this up and made a big old knot in there, and it's split. So now that's got to get fixed. I got the little pipe in there. That's how my dad's side exhaust is going to look. It will come out just like that, and it actually goes through the frame. We have a cutout in the frame here that it'll go through, but it's all beefed up in there. It is on air ride. The rear end, if you want to see, is a 9-inch, and that's my makeshift air management system. And you can see, let's see, the inside of the car. I mean, it's great. The inside was supposed to be red. All the interior trim and stuff was red. So I thought we were going to paint all this red. They didn't do that. But you can see those wheel tubs. They are huge. All spot welded, everything. And I'm not sure, but up inside of here, I reverse tubbed it. Might be able to see from the trunk, but you see how close it comes over to the quarter panel. Both sides, they are massive. 20 by 15s on the rear, and this is looking inside of the car. And like it was all done great. I mean, the tops of them. And I will open the trunk and let you guys see it. All right, take a second. I got to get my prop rod up. Trying to put some gloves on it so it don't scratch it, because I'm not going to redo this, because all this was sprayed before it left and I know it was done right. So this is the trunk. It was sectioned in 6 pieces, and I mean, you can look at how beautiful it is. There's very, very light Bondo on this, because you can tell everything is nice and beautiful. Steel factory, steel sharp, everything sharp on it, all around in here. So I ended up adding in about that much on the wheelhouse. So this edge right here used to be right over here. That's not nothing, that's something with the paint. You can see that's the paint or something, but this used to be right here and rolled down. So I added in that much down through here all the way to this corner. It came over, then I cut up and cut across here, back over, and then along the top of this over, and added in that much metal. When I do the trunk on it, spider webs, when I do the trunk, I want to leave everything like this. I've got to get some new gas shocks. Those came off of a car that I had here. I need something to help hold it up better. But when we do the trunk and it's at a car show, the only thing I want in it is a piece of carpet, just in that little area right there. I just want a nice piece of carpet, maybe with the aMAYSing Metal Works logo or something in there, and that's what it will be. But anyways, you can see how bad all this is. The orange peel, you can see Bondo there flaking, and those pieces adding up, not fitting. This being so thick, I mean, it is horrible thick. It's not working very good. I thought about, my dad said that the fender, I'm gonna go grab a razor blade. My dad said that the fender and the door were the only thing that were flaking up or bubbling up. So I thought, well, maybe somebody painted the body separate and didn't do the doors and all, and somebody else painted the doors there at the shop and they didn't do them right. And I was like, well, maybe I can just get away with just doing the passenger side door, because it's only the passenger side door and the passenger side front fender that bubbled up. And like, well, maybe I can just get those repainted and I won't have to do the rest. But as I look at the back of the deck lid and I look at those gutters and everything, I'm just going to strip it all the way back down to bare metal. That way I know. Craig said I better not paint it. I better not leave it, because if I do, I'll end up getting the car put together and then it's going to flake up and I will be upset. So I want to shut the door here and show you guys where the paint is flaking up. See what it does. So you can see it's right here. This is actually a wide piece of trim. This is the first place that came up, and my dad was like, oh, we just put the trim on it. Then I noticed right here, and I was like, Dad, we can't put the trim on it. That's below the trim. And then I noticed on the fender. So look at this stuff. Like, literally, it's horrible that I got to do this to. And I bet you it's got rust under it. Look at that. I mean, it literally, that's rust. Rust. Like a fresh painted, all the money I got in this, and rust. It makes me sick. I don't know. I really don't even want to finish this video. But that's it. Rust completely under it. And let me know your thoughts. Would you fix the door and the fender and ride out, or would you strip it down and redo the whole car? I mean, this is a well-known paint shop, and It literally, I mean, there's spots above it coming up. I mean, it's, yeah, there's rust under there. Don't even know where my camera was at, but it's rusted completely. And I've got so much money in this car, and I wanted this car to last, so if anything happened to my dad, I would get it back and I would be able to enjoy it. So I'm going to strip it down and redo it, and hopefully I get it done right. I wish I knew a way to strip it the easiest and the fastest, but I don't want to strip the inside. The underside's been undercoated. Let me show you the underside just to show you how clean it is underneath compared to on the top, so you can tell the body work, the amount of body work I did. And the undercoating is not thick at all. That's the underside, and not sure if you can see very good, but there is no, like, everything's there, and that's very thin undercoating. I didn't want it thick. I wanted people to be able to look under here and look and be like, man, he stamped this floor like this. How did he do that? Massive steamrollers. So I'll show you guys the front fender. Here's the front fender. Look at that. I literally took the air nozzle and blew it off of this. Like it come off in like chunks. And rust under it, rust under it, rust under it. I mean, you can literally, like, look. It literally just peels off. So that's it. That's about the Galaxie. And I'll go over here for a second and talk about this that I got. You guys let me know what you think about the Galaxie. I ended up picking this up to go in the Model A. This is a 1957 Ford Y block out of a 57 Thunderbird. It is a 312 engine. It was rebuilt. It has a rebuild tag on it. The other side, at like a place called Engine Mart or Motor Mart, and it says, I think, 1080. So back in 80 it was rebuilt. The cylinder size is 30 over. The rod is over 10 and the main is over 10. I broke that, but literally I unscrewed it. Inside of there, the piston is brand new. The walls still have all the cross hatching. This motor was never even ran after it was built in the 80s. Somebody was probably going to build a car and put it in. It still has like the stickers on the exhaust gaskets. The distributor is a Ford Motor Company. It's like new. I took or it is new, the distributor out, the distributor, everything, nothing has even ran. It's still got the tag up there wrapped around. And this engine was given to me. I'm looking for like a three deuce intake and some different, like, Oppenheimer exhaust valve covers, and some other things I'm looking for to get this into my Model A. But this is her, and I'm going to end up cutting this off and pushing her in because it's about to storm, and I need to get that motor off, and I need to get home. Plus we're like 30 minutes into this show, but I just wanted to hang out with you guys, talk with you a little bit about my dad's car and what's going on with it, and maybe Tuesday night we will probably see it and talk more about it. I can't get over it. It is very disheartening. I spent a lot of nights stressing, worrying that something was going to happen to my dad before I got this car built for him. A lot of tears, a lot of long hours, and then it's been on stop for over a year now, and I haven't been able to control any of it or do anything, and I want to get this car done for my dad. It's horrible. I love you guys, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for Tech Talk. I see you. Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, and let me know in the comments your thoughts on the car and what you think happened and what you would do. Anyways, God bless you all. Hope everybody had a safe and wonderful 4th of July. I got here and then realized that tomorrow is my mom's birthday, and I just left from up there. I probably should have stayed. Mom, if you're watching, love you and happy birthday. And I'm sorry that we left. It's just been a long weekend. We got up there on Thursday and spent the day on the lake, Thursday, Friday, and then we ended up coming home today. So a lot of sun. I'm a little toasty, tired, ready to go home, get in the air conditioner, get a shower, eat, maybe watch a movie, something. I don't know. Love you guys. God bless you all, and I'll see you on Tuesday.